Imagine hearing that a senior government figure rented out their family home and a required license was missing. At first glance, that might sound like a simple administrative error, but then new emails surfaced, different explanations appeared on different days, and people began asking whether everything had been shared clearly from the start. In this video, we will walk through what actually happened, step by step, in a calm, accurate, and balanced way, so by the end, you can form your own view based on verified information. Before we begin, this content aims to stay fully neutral and fact-based, without assumptions or accusations, and to present all sides fairly. When a government minister moves into an official residence, their previous property may be rented out. In this case, the home in question was located in South London. Local rules require certain landlords to obtain what is known as a selective license before renting out a property. Many people are not familiar with these specific rules, and different boroughs have different requirements. The story began when Rachel Reeves, the current chancellor, acknowledged that the required license had not been obtained for her family home during the rental period. She apologized and explained that this was an oversight, saying she and her family had not realized the license was needed. At that stage, this seemed like a straightforward case of a missed administrative step that was being corrected. Before we continue with the full timeline, a quick note. If you appreciate calm, clear explanations of current events without drama or exaggeration, you may want to subscribe. It supports the channel and helps us continue presenting balanced information. Thank you if you choose to do so at any time. Now, initially, the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, accepted the Chancellor's explanation that the error was inadvertent. The license was being obtained, and the issue appeared resolved. However, what created further discussion was that the following day, emails were released that added more detail to the timeline. These emails showed that the letting agency managing the rental had informed the Chancellor's husband months earlier that the license was required, and that the agency had offered to apply for it. This did not match the earlier understanding that neither she nor her husband had been aware of the need for a license. As a result, questions naturally arose. If the message had been sent, how had the requirement been forgotten? Why was it not mentioned in the first explanation? And how did this oversight occur? This is where narrative framing becomes important, because there are two main interpretations circulating, and understanding both helps maintain a balanced perspective. One interpretation is that this was still an honest mistake. The message was sent during a busy period, the family did not recall it, and they believed the letting agency would handle the application. The other interpretation is that, even if no harm was intended, full details should have been shared the first time, especially when it involved a government minister. These two viewpoints created a sense of uncertainty, and that uncertainty is what kept the story in the public conversation. The letting agency then released a statement. They explained that a staff member had indeed offered to apply for the license. However, this staff member resigned shortly before the tenancy began. Because of that sudden departure, the application never went ahead, and the agency did not follow up. They apologized to the property owners for the oversight. Their statement suggested that the license was not intentionally avoided, but rather that the process simply was not completed by mistake. This additional information helps build a more complete picture. The husband was informed, believed the agency would handle it. The agency intended to handle it. The responsible staff member left, and the task slipped through the cracks. At this stage, some viewers may be thinking that this sounds like a chain of unfortunate events. Others may feel that, regardless of the chain of events, more care is expected from individuals in senior public roles. Both feelings exist among the public, and it is helpful to acknowledge that calmly. What matters for this video is that we remain focused on verified facts rather than assumptions. Given the new details, the Prime Minister consulted the independent advisor on ministerial standards, Sir Laurie Magnus. His task was to examine whether the Chancellor had acted with honesty and good faith. After reviewing the emails and the explanation provided, he stated that he found no evidence of bad faith. He described the situation as unfortunate but inadvertent. He did note that the first explanation would have been clearer if all email correspondence had been checked before the initial letter was written, and the Prime Minister also described the absence of those details at first as regrettable. However, both concluded that the matter did not require further action. In simple terms, the Standards Advisor did not consider this to be deliberate wrongdoing, and the Prime Minister accepted that assessment. It is worth noting that critics, including members of the opposition, continued to express concern. Their argument is that ministers carry responsibility for ensuring that legal requirements are met and for being fully transparent when issues arise. Some said that even if the letting agency missed the step, the ultimate responsibility rests with the property owners. This creates an interesting moment to pause and reflect. The facts show there was an error, there was an apology, the license is being obtained, and the independent advisor found no intentional wrongdoing. At the same time, the situation highlights how important complete transparency is for public trust, especially when information emerges in stages. As we move through the second half of this video, think about how a story like this grows. At first, there's a simple declaration of a missed requirement. Then, there's a new piece of information that changes how people interpret the situation. Then, more voices join, some supportive, some critical, and the narrative becomes broader than the original detail. This technique of progressive revelation, which we are following in this video, reflects how real-life stories often unfold. Information appears gradually, and each new detail reshapes how the audience understands the event. Another factor adding interest to this story is timing. This issue surfaced shortly before an important upcoming financial statement from the Chancellor, which naturally increased public attention. Whenever a key government figure is preparing for a major moment, any controversy, even a minor administrative one, may attract more focus than usual. The reason is simple. Viewers and citizens want to know whether those making key decisions are following rules themselves. This is not about assuming guilt or innocence, but about the human instinct to expect leaders to model responsibility. Something else worth observing is that this incident also shines a light on the complexity of rental regulations. Many landlords, particularly first-time landlords, may not realize how many different licenses and requirements exist depending on location. It raises useful awareness about the importance of checking local housing rules. Some people watching this may even be discovering for the first time that such licenses exist. In that sense, the incident may encourage more diligence among landlords in general, regardless of political context. With all sides of the situation now laid out clearly, we can take a balanced view. One side emphasizes that intent matters, and that if a mistake is unintentional, corrected promptly, and verified as such by an independent standards advisor, then it should not be exaggerated. The other side emphasizes that accuracy and full transparency from the very beginning are crucial, particularly for public officials. Both sides can coexist without conflict. This story can serve as a reminder of the importance of double-checking information, especially before issuing statements, and of ensuring everything shared is complete and consistent. If you're still watching, it likely means you value calm, respectful, carefully explained content without assumptions. That is exactly what this channel aims to provide. If you'd like to support this balanced approach, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. Your engagement genuinely helps. As we reach the final section, the key takeaway is that the matter has now been formally closed by the Prime Minister after consultation with the independent standards advisor. The license is being obtained, the agency acknowledged the oversight, the Chancellor accepted responsibility, and the advisor confirmed he found no intentional wrongdoing. The remaining discussion is mostly about expectations for transparency rather than the actual license itself. By presenting all verified facts without exaggeration, we avoid harmful speculation and allow viewers to reach their own conclusions. Thank you for watching through until the end. If you value respectful, balanced explanations, feel welcome to share your thoughts in the comments, and consider returning for future videos with the same calm approach.